All right. Good morning, guys. Give me 1 second. All right. Good morning, guys. Today is Tuesday, May the 9th, and as usual, we'll be going over analysis for US 30, gold, and what is that? EU. Yeah, I don't have. Give me 1 second. Let me. Euro USD. And also, if you guys hear me taking pauses, because I'm having breakfast. I'm hungry. Like I even haven't gotten a chance to eat. But this is, it's part of the process. So sometimes we just have to go through this. So today as well, I didn't get a chance to do the markups for EU. But I did markups for gold and I did markups for US 30. And I sent them. So for those people who have access to, or who had subscribed to the charts access, you should have a link to have exactly what I have on my chart. And you see, I think by the time I was sending it, US 30 was around this demand zone, and you can see US 30 rejected off of a demand zone. And personally, I'm in a buy for US 30. I entered before market open. The reason I entered the buy was because we have a weekly bullish low. Remember, these areas do not show up every day. So when US 30 broke back above, I waited for the retest, and then this candle closed below, but this candle came back up and closed above the 9 EMA. So I'm in a buy for US 30. Of course, this is not going to count as a trade. I'll count on the official trades, but I did enter that. So this just shows you, like, having access to some of these instruments that I have is just a game changer and a no-brainer. And also we do have a golden cross coming in for US 30 on the 5-minute as well. The only thing, we also do have a daily bullish high. We also have a daily bearish high up here. We have some supply zones. We definitely have a lot of sell zones up here. So I'll probably just get out of this trade once I want to see how price reacts from the daily bullish high, but you can see we have nothing but sell zones. We have supply zones in here, then we have bearish markups right here. So yeah, but this is the trade I entered before the market opened, because we have a weekly bullish low and those zones rarely come up. And if you can see, they had tried to fake out and close below the weekly bullish low, picked up demand from this demand zone I drew here, and then price is going up. So so for this trade, let me see. For re-entry, I would rather wait for the golden cross to form. So that's the only, if you want to re-enter or to get an entry of this trade, I would wait for the golden cross to form. But that's the only trade I'm in. Just a second. And I'll draw my trend lines as well. Okay, where was I? Okay, so I was drawing this trend lines right here. So for gold, you can see gold also rejected from a supply zone within a supply zone. So again, this is the importance of having access to some of the things I have access to. As much as you don't need to subscribe to make money, with me, it does make a huge difference. For example, having my markups. So you can see gold, we are in a heavy sell zone, and gold rejected from this supply zone within a supply zone right to the pip. And you can, so my markups, I know who has my charts access. I know Levy does, but you can see gold rejected exactly from this supply zone within a supply zone. So right now I'm looking for, so I'll have this trend line to the downside. Again, I don't like how the trend lines are for gold for now. On the hourly, the chart to my right, I'll draw this static trend line. I don't have any, unless these are the only trend lines on the 1 hour that I have for gold. So the only trend line on the 1 hour that we can use for gold is this one right here. So price is being held up. So you can see if this hourly candle will close above this trend line, it will close as a bullish pin bar. I'm sorry, as a bullish hammer candle. But again, we are still in a supply zone for gold. So I don't see anything for gold. EU, I didn't get a chance to do any markups for EU. So I'm still recovering from vacation, guys. So just bear with me as I get back to my optimal self. But at least today I had markups for EU and US 30. So so that's the trend for EU right there. And then on the 5 minute, and then on the 1 hour, that's the only trend line. I don't have a trend line from the upside. So for here for EU, since we don't have any markups, I'll just turn on my indicator and turn on the channel. So to see the trend. So this is what I want to see. I can tell we're in a downtrend already, and both channels are slanting to the bottom or trending down, and also we're in a sell zone. So in any case, oh, US 30 is pumping up. I just saw that. Yeah. So this is the death cross that I'm talking about. This personally I entered this trade before the market opened because it was at a weekly bullish low. But if you now want to re-enter this trade, you can see we have a bullish, a bearish, what is it called? A golden cross on the 5 minute where the 9 EMA is crossing the 200 EMA. So what you want to wait for this trade, remember when a death cross or golden cross forms, you almost always have a retest of the 9 EMA. 9 and 200 EMA. So we went over this in detail yesterday during yesterday's live session. So just wait for it at this point. And you guys already saw I made money on USD CAD yesterday. Thank you, Desire, for. So personally, I'll close out this trade. So I just closed that out. I'd already made a ton of money from the USD CAD trade. I don't know if anybody hopped into this trade, but keep in mind, I'm not going to count this trade because I took it before the live session and I didn't send it in the group. So, but if anybody hopped in, just make sure your stop loss is at break even. So EU, give me 1 second. EU is definitely, EU is 50-50, gold is 50-50 as well. US 30 is fully bullish. So let's focus on US. Let's see if we can get that entry off of the, so what we want here US 30 to do, in any case right now, I would be looking for US 30 to come back down. But I said I'm not gonna be calling that kind of trading like counter trending, especially if we're not using the reversal indicator because it's risky. But what I'm looking for, US 30 to keep going up. So you always want to see where can it go up to pick up liquidity and come back to where you expect it to go. So we know golden cross is forming. What do we know when a golden cross forms? We know that price breaks above and then normally comes back to retest both the 9 EMA and 200 EMA. So if that is to happen, you can see we have just supply zones in here. So US 30 can do this, retrace a little bit in this supply zone, possibly this might be the move back down because right here it might be a little high to go. So let me go ahead and delete that. Let's see. So do this. So go here, do this, come back and retest the 9 EMA and then shoot all the way back up. So that's what I expect for US 30. So right now I expect US 30 to come back down, and you can see where, look on the hourly, right? This is just, some of these things are just too easy to notice. The 200 EMA, it's rejecting off of the 200 EMA and on the 1 hour. And I told you guys, especially when you have a golden cross forming and then you have a 200 EMA on the hourly to the top, it is automatic that, so remember the 200 moving average is the average price for the last, I believe the last 200 days. So this is a very slow and lagging EMA. So you expect when price reaches that, especially at the higher timeframes, to have some sort of rejection. And those are the sort of trades I normally tell you guys, you can go for a quick 20 pips, don't go for the full move. So here, you could have even easily shorted this, and we've done it previously on the live session. Go for 20 pips TP, 20 pips take profit, right? This is some of those trades you can go in heavy. And keep in mind, for these trades, you don't need to wait for closure of anything because you're looking for a rejection a quick rejection. Yeah, so that's just another trade you could have taken, but I'm expecting it to come back down once we get that retest of the 9 EMA. So keep in mind, same thing as yesterday. Don't wait for the actual retest. Like for this strategy, you don't have to wait for the pip retest, because remember yesterday, if you waited for the 9 EMA or for the golden cross to be retested exactly to the pip, you could have missed that huge sell that came in. Because yesterday, for those of you who remember on the live session, I did identify a sell on US 30 on the 5 minute based off of death cross that formed. And if anybody waited for the exact retest of the 9 EMA, they could have missed such a nice move to the downside. So yeah, just wait for price, and we'll see how that goes. So this is what I'm waiting for. Waiting for another buy here. So I already closed this buy that I was in because I know price is coming back down. And keep in mind, so right, you always want to ask yourself, where can I enter? So our confluences, either retest of the trend line, which is here, or retest of the point of high low period, which would be down here, or retest of the 9 EMA or 200 EMA. So since this is a golden cross that we are trading, we want the retest of the 9 EMA, which in this case also coincides with the retest of the high low period. So at that point, 50 pips TP, 50 pips stop loss. Our stop loss is below the weekly bullish low. Our stop loss is below this trend line. Our stop loss is below yesterday's low. So that's fine. So this also is an entry on the retest of the trend line. However, right, you always want to see the best. You always want to find the best entry, or the most optimal entry. Yeah, give me one quick second. Okay, I'm back. So that was the entry for the trend line. But again, for me, I wasn't looking to enter that, right? Because our confluences are either retest of trend line. So the entry would have been this candle that just opened, retest of the 9 EMA. We haven't gotten that, and that's what we are looking for, or retest of high low. So if your study wants to keep pumping up, let it go. No need to FOMO or chase anything. You can see gold. If this hourly candle closes in 10 minutes, so if this candle closes above this, it will be closing above this trend line. However, if you're trading any candle, so whether it's on the hourly, whether it's on the 5 minute, if you're trading a candle that's closing above a trend line, and you always want to trade static trend lines, meaning a trend line has two high low points, you always, after the candle that closes above or below, you always want to wait for the next candle that closes above or below. Because previously we've had situations where for example, this candle closes above, right? And then guess what? The next candle, this candle would close above, and then the next candle does this, closes down and fakes you out. So for anybody who would try to catch just the retest and push above, they got burnt. But you do have, if you want to scalp, what you can do once this candle closes, if we get the next candle opening and just retesting this trend line, you can scalp gold for a quick 20 pip buy, right? It's one of those trades I tell you guys, you only have like one chance and one chance only for playing that card. But I wouldn't say but hold a buy for like 100 pips once you get a retest of this trend line, because you can easily get faked to the downside, and then that's when gold may start the move to the downside. But we'll observe how gold will close, and you can see we are in sell zones for gold, so we have nothing but bearish zones for gold, other than right now where it's picking up liquidity from the 30-minute bullish high and 15-minute bullish high. All the way to the top is nothing but sell, 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 sells for gold. So let's see, US 30 still waiting on this. EU. So EU, we're still in a descending channel. You can see here on the hourly, we have this static trend line. So what do we know about static trend lines? Static trend lines will almost always get retested. So what I'd be looking for, excuse me, is a continuation for a sell for EU to at least get the hourly to this static trend line. Now, if we do get so this candle is closing above. If we do get a candle closing back below the trend line on the 5-minute and closing below the 9 EMA, I would be looking to take a sell on EU. But right now, gold, we are just waiting for it. US 30, we are waiting for an entry on US 30. Let's see. Yesterday we had an I know NU. I don't know if Livy is in here. Livy, I know you caught NU sell based on the reversal indicator yesterday. And actually, this is the reason I have this chart open. I was trying to see where you got the because I think the sell you entered was somewhere around here, right?
I'm gonna tell you. Hold on, I'll check right now.
Yeah, because that was an amazing trade. I like Livy. He takes something and goes with it and says he's gonna figure it out. So I was trying to look. I mean, I did see it, because if I change to fast moving average, there was either this sell at the very top and either another sell. So keep in mind, we're still waiting on US 30 to come back down. So if it keeps going up, that's fine. We just have to be patient to get that entry. No need to FOMO into anything. It was either this sell right here, or did you do the 5-minute? Let's see. Yeah, because there was a sell here, but I know when you talked about the sell, it was price was somewhere around here. So you could see Levy caught like what was this? Could have easily caught 20 or 25 pips by now. I know NU sometimes moves slowly, but one of the ones that we caught the day before, and I don't know if
it was at 63490.
63490, 63490. So is it this cell right here? I mean, it might be somewhere around here, because
Yeah,
I
it
don't.
was somewhere right after the sell signal.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So that was an amazing sell, and you can see from then on, EU has just been. I'm sorry, NU has just been dying. So easy money. Easy money. So, and the other one we had the one that Desire identified, what was it, 2 days ago, the USD CAD. And this is the trade that I was in. I actually just closed it today. That's the one I sent in my profits this morning. I was holding that trade for like 2 days, right? Some of this, it's too so this is the first one I caught, because personally I waited. I think Desire got an earlier buy for USD CAD somewhere down here. But for me on USD CAD, if you guys remember, Livy and I had gotten faked out of a buy earlier. So for me, I was waiting for the buy on the 30-minute and on the 1 hour. And that actually came right after our, did I call that trade? I thought I didn't send that trade to you guys. Oh, interesting. I guess I did not. Okay. I know I took it on the live session, or just a few minutes after the live session. So for me, I was saying I was waiting for a buy on the 30-minute And that's when I got in that trade. When this buy signal came up, I barely had any drawdown. Even better yet, right? I got both confirmations because I was either looking for a buy on the 30-minute or 1 hour. And guess what? Even on the hourly, I got that buy. And this one had satisfied the requirements, or not the requirement per se, the analysis that, so this is the trade that Livy and I got faked out right here. So I said, just looking at USD CAD, what do I know about instruments? If I get faked out, I go to the higher time frame. I automatically knew USD CAD had some structure to the upside. So structure, these instruments love completing structure. So I said I'm just going to wait until I get a buy on the 30-minute or 1 hour in order to give price direction to move. And once USD CAD completed this structure to the downside, gave a buy, I hopped in there, rode this thing all the way to the top. The other trade that we are still in, I think we took it on Monday, is NZDCHF. Also based on the reversal strategy. This trade still stuck in drawdown. I'm still in the trade personally, but we'll see how that goes. But you can see we also had a sell signal on the hourly. So I'm still holding this trade. Since I'm using proper risk management, if it hits stop loss, it hits stop loss. The other thing, we have the breakout scanner here, and keep in mind, at some point, I'll stop showing this on the live session in order to be fair to the people who subscribed for access for it. But let's see if we can find any reversal today. So
Yeah, there is one that I was looking at for days now.
which one is
It's
it?
Euro NZD.
Euro NZD. Let's see. Damn, US 30 is taking off. But you guys can see, right? When I tell you guys, this zones, weekly bullish or weekly bearish zones, they rarely come up. So when and this is one of those trades you easily pass a challenge in like 4 of these trades a month, because these weekly zones, they rarely. So to me, when price came down here, it was a no-brainer. Like I knew price was gonna shoot up from here. And especially when I saw it was rejecting off of this demand zone, right? It just made sense that, hey, this is going to go up. So yeah, these zones, they are definitely life-changing, especially if you don't yet have a strategy and you're trying to learn. I wish when I was learning, I had access to some of these, strategies. Unfortunately, and fortunately or unfortunately, some of the people that I was following, I had to learn the hard way, and that's why I've started, some of these things. You say Euro NZD, this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is perfect. Let's see on the hourly if there's any structure. So what we'll do here, we'll do this. Okay, perfect. So structure, automatically I can see the structure being completed right here. We have this structure. And then we have this structure. So structure should be completed around 1.72442. So this would be, yeah, and you're right, this is perfect for a reversal. So for Euro NZD, let me see what's going on the 5-minute to see if we can have, and US 30 is off. Okay, so we have a bunch, and this is to be expected for some of these pairs because they barely have any volume. They consolidate a lot. So what we'll do here on the 5-minute, there's really nothing going on. Let's go to the 30-minute. Damn, everything is taking. Oh wow, the markets are good today. Give me once. I forget that I have a ton of accounts. I need to make sure that I'm not. Give me 1 second.
just crossed on a golden cross on the 5-minute.
Okay.
Looking for something.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Because I have I'm still testing the EA that I have, and I want to make sure it's taking some of these trades. Give me 1 minute. I need to check some things real quick. What is it? Euro USD. So my EA trades like everything, Bitcoin, US 30. So I trade all of them at the same time. It's funny. Like I've traded US 30, NAS, Bitcoin, gold, and 3 pairs. Like today on a 100K account, I'm up 780, and my drawdown currently is only 480, and that's with my EA. So, because previously, I never found any EA that could take, even Bitcoin by itself, I never found any EA that could survive that. But give me one quick second. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Just should take about 1 minute. Odd USD, I'm trading it as well. That's fine. I'm trading GJ as well. JPY. Okay, that's fine. And I'm trading H. Okay.
For a golden cross on Forex pairs, you just go 50 TP, 50
No,
stop loss.
no, the only time I go 50 pips TP and 50 pips stop loss is the only. So 50 is ideally meaning I'm going double what I go for, because regularly I go for 20 pips TP, 20 pips take profit for those. So the only time I'll ever go double is if I'm using the reversal strategy. Other than that, I'll always use 20-20 for FX pairs, 50-50 for gold, 50-50 for US30. But
Oh,
but the TP and stop loss for me is not a big factor. The big factor is your risk management, because you can have somebody going for 100 and somebody else going for 10 and both of them are risking the same amount. So but normally for golden crosses and death crosses, they have a pump up in liquidity, so you have a higher probability of not getting faked out for those golden crosses. And also, or death crosses. Also, the other thing that I said, you also, when a golden cross forms or death cross, you want to go back, because if there's a death cross, that means there was a golden cross. So you want to make sure that the golden cross was like a while back and price has not just been forming golden and death crosses in the last 1 hour, which means there's consolidation. So while trading golden and death crosses, you want to make sure that, let me change this. You want
can we
to,
take a look at GJ?
yeah, just 1 second. Um, where is this account at? All right, GJ. Let me use this chart. Yeah, no, I wouldn't trade this. I mean, this is, look at, you don't want this. You don't want the distance for the two EMAs to be close to each other for the past few hours or whatnot. You want a clean, something clean, right? US30, that was a clean golden cross, because price has just been far away from the two EMAs for like a couple of hours or 1 or 2 hours. This price action you
Right.
don't want to trade, because this is just consolidation. So I wouldn't even want to look at this chart right now. So right now,
Okay.
my EA is just trading this, and but what you can see is that we are in a sell. So price is descending to the downside. However, we do have prices currently in a buy channel. But again, I don't, even if I attempted to draw a trend line, like where would I even start? Because that's possibly one right there. This is another. So, right, if you have a doubt in something, then it probably doesn't make sense. So yeah, I wouldn't be looking to trade. And even looking on the hourly, to me, this just shows structure, because here I can automatically see a possible, not really a head and shoulders per se, because this definitely has like two heads. Oh, I'm sorry, two shoulders, two left shoulders, a head, and two right shoulders. So in any case, I would be looking for a sell on GJ. Like on the hourly, to me, this is just screaming structure. You have this, that, 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 that. So to me, GJ, in any case, I'll be looking for sales. I am in sales on my EA, so so here we go, probably getting a read. Okay, so this is possibly when we are getting that entry for US30. We got it pretty late, but remember, right? It's still valid because you're waiting. So at no point has the 9 EMA been retested. Only issue with this trade is that we are in supply zones. That is the only issue, because I would have rather taken this trade down here if price had come down here as opposed to all the way up here. Because right here, the trade is in supply zone. So just to go away from that, just increase TP, increase stop loss, so that stop loss is ideally below this trend line. So 100 pips TP, 100 pips stop loss, and just wait for price to retest the 9 EMA. And just a second, so don't get in yet. I want to see something. Yeah, Yeah, I'm not going to, I'm not going to enter US 30. The reason for that is I do see a fake out. I do see a trap being set for buyers. Because if you look at it, if we are looking for the retest of the 9 EMA, so keep in mind, this particular entry does not need a closure of a candle. So if we're going to enter on impulse for this trade, this candle can literally just sink down as a strong bearish candle and come all the way down and start a bearish move. So yeah, I'm not looking to enter. And let me close out this trade. That's just a trade I just taken. Yeah, if you want to take it, right, it is risky. I'm not going to mark that trade up. It's just I do see a trap being set for buyers. The other thing you want to look at, where is price rejecting from? 4-hour bearish low, hourly bearish high, hourly bearish low. We have perfect rejections from this sell zone. So why would I be trying to buy around this area? So yeah, right now I'm not going to take that buy on US 30. On the other hand, don't want to take a sell because we have a golden cross that's forming and price is bullish for now. So right now, if we didn't have this golden cross, I would have actually entered the sell on the close of this candle, because what I also want to see on my markups, I normally want to see price rejecting from the areas that I've marked up. So look at this, pip right to the pip rejection. So in any case, I could have taken the sell here, but I'm right. It's just conflicting either way. Buys are conflicting and sells are conflicting. So I am not, in any case, sells are better for now because remember, high time frame zones, the 4-hour, the hourly, it overrides a 5-minute golden cross. But I would much rather wait for price to either keep pushing up, I catch a reversal, or keep pushing down, I catch a reversal. So either way, yeah, I don't think I'll see any trade right now. Okay, so here, look at gold, right? Same thing that I said. When this hourly candle closes, I don't know if anybody caught that. When this hourly candle closes, you have one shot to try and catch a retest of this EMA, of this static trend line, established trend line. So this could have been a buy at 2028 and price went up, price is up about 15 pips from 2028. So that's what I meant. So for any other buys on gold, now the only way I would be looking to buy gold is if now this current hourly candle closes above this trend line. At that point, yeah, I can buy gold based off of that. But right now, this hourly candle can easily come back down, break and close below the 9 EMA. Break and close below the static trend line on the hourly, and gold starts a bearish move. But for now, if you didn't already catch the buy at 2028, because I said wait for this hourly candle to close, expect a retest of this area around this static trend line, and then you have one shot to just hit a quick buy for 20 pips or so, and you can see you could have been up about 15 pips. So there's just like a lot, I have 3 charts to analyze. Sometimes we'll find, and that's why at the beginning of every session, I tell you guys, this is what to look out for US 30, this is what to look out for gold, this is what to look out for EU, so that you just put an alert. It's up to you to put an alert, because you can see US 30 invalidated our trade. Personally, I'm already up like 2% for the day. So if I don't catch a trade on the live session, I really don't care. Yeah, so US 30 here, I would just say wait for price to move away from these 2 zones. So wait for price either to sink back down, and then we get a proper entry, maybe a sell entry off of this trend line to the downside. Right here for this buy, we are just in sell zone. So when I'm looking for a buy, I would much rather see demand zones and see bullish markups, but we don't have that. Yeah, so I don't see anything else. Oh, Euro and ZD, I'm sorry. So 30-minute, let's see. 5-minute, we say there's nothing for Euro and ZD. 30-minute, let's see. The only thing I'm looking for is structure. 30-minute, automatically I can see structure being completed right here around this zone. So yes, if we do get a buy, so what I'll do here, I'll just turn off the sells because I'm not interested in sell signals for this one, and I'll just wait for a buy on the 30-minute or a buy on the 1 hour and for Euro and ZD. And then just get in. And this even in the on the hourly, I'm almost sure this meets our requirements, right? So this is my point of interest right here, even on the hourly. So text point of interest. And then I draw my arrow. So this is just to help me, as much as we have the indicator, you do need manual intervention for this. So 100, so 100 minus 500 is 600. So 74, 600. So I wasn't 74, so I'll call it 500 right there, just for ease of math. And keep in mind, this is the hourly time frame, so that's why this arrow looks small, but this is 50 pips.
That's what I wanted to ask you. I'm glad you brought this up. So when it consolidates, you started all the way over?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to get clarity.
Yeah. So this 50 pips right here is to tell me if any buy showed up, and this is on the hourly. So on the hourly, you're probably not good. On the hourly, if this is better seen on the 5 minute, because on the hourly 50 pips might not be something major. So on the hourly, number one, you want to look for structure. But if this was the 5 minute, maybe I need to come up with a pip for the hourly. I'm not sure. I would have to backtest that. So maybe 100 pips. I'm not sure. But for the if we are drawing this on the 5 minute, this is what we do. Point of interest, 50 pips on the 5 minute. Maybe on the hourly we can do, I'll need to backtest that, but maybe on the hourly we can do 100 pips. Yeah, because same thing, we do double TP and double stop loss if we're doing reversals. So let's just start testing on the hourly to use 100 pips here, just here. I'll show you guys the settings in the indicator. So here, what we are doing, 100 pips from here is 74, 100. Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, 74, 100-ish. So what this does, if you have the indicator on, what these two markups show you is that you have a point of interest. The last time price was consistently above the 9 EMA on the hourly or on the 5 minute, but right now we are doing it on the hourly because you saw the 5 minute, you have a lot of consolidation. So this was the last time price was above. Okay, looking also at structure, this is the area where structure is supposed to be completed on the 30 minute, I'm sorry, and also on the hourly. Okay, so you draw an arrow from your point of interest for 100 pips. So you measure 100 pips from your area of interest. The reason you're measuring this is if you had gotten a buy signal at any point within this 100 pips, you wouldn't have taken it. It would have been an invalid buy signal. Now, this is to tell you I'm not interested in a buy signal that shows up 100 pips from my point of interest. I'm only interested in any buy signal that will show up after 100 pips. So that's the reason you're looking for that. And you can see here, for this one, we didn't have any buy signal. You're really not going to find them on the hourly per se, because the hourly is a longer time frame. On the 5 minute is when you'll notice this, because I've gone over the previous two sessions on the 5 minute where you had a bunch of fake out signals. So here, when I get my buy signal here on the hourly, I'll just go ahead and enter Euro NZ either on the hourly or the 30 minute. I'll go ahead and enter EN for, what is that? 50 pips TP, 50 pips stop loss. And
just a question.
mhm.
Yeah, I was checking on the pip size, and I noticed that on Euro NZD and all the NZD pair, 50 pip. I don't think it can be enough, because like it seems like it has a lot of it's moved a lot. So
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe 100 pip.
Yeah, and you actually, thank you for reminding me. You're actually correct. Yeah, so some of these pairs, because mostly I just trade EU, so I'm used to the pip. Yeah, but as Desire said, some of these pairs, Euro NZD, I know definitely GJ. The way the pips, like 10 pips on EU is not really the same calculation for 10 pips as GJ. Yeah, so for this one, yeah, you're right. Use like 75 pips or 75 to 100 pips. Because I think even for NZD-CHF, the NZD-CHF, I used 75 pips TP and stop loss, and that's how I've been able, because I think NZD-CHF is another one that just moves. Let's see what I put in. No, I did put in 50. Yeah. So, but Desire is right. For some of this, especially some of these miners, use, if I say, if you're gonna use 50 for like EU, when trading a miner, another miner pair like GJ, EN, use 1.5 times whatever the stop loss and TP you use for EU. Yeah, thanks for
Now, is that
reminding
for
me.
just is that for the original or just if you get faked out and then go back on the hourly? You're always
Uh,
going to use 75?
yes. I'm always going to use the 75. So whether it's a fake out or whether it's on the hourly, I'll use 75. For
Okay.
GJ, for NZD, I'm not sure the others, but yeah. Yeah, not sure. Yeah, US 30, bunch of fake outs. And there goes gold back. Let's see EU. What did GJ do? And you can see GJ is coming. So that golden cross on GJ was invalidated, and now GJ is having a death cross. So that's why I meant like I would not trade GJ as is. Yeah, I really, to be honest with you guys, I don't see anything in the markets today. Tomorrow we do have CPI, and this is to be expected. Days before heavy news, this is to be expected. So today, similar to yesterday, if you guys have any questions, let's just use today as a learning day. Yeah, I don't see literally the only, you see, another way to look at it is when you look at charts and you're trying to justify trades, just step away from that. Because right now I can see myself justifying trades. I can see myself saying, okay, retest of this trend line. But at that point, you're just trading a sideways market. So you want some clean price action. And actually, today is the best day to catch a reversal. Days before news and days after news are best days to catch either a reversal or a breakout. Now, the other way, let's see if we can find a breakout. Here we have, oh, did I go over, what was that, Euro NZD? Give me 1 second. I don't know if I went over this. Let me look. The settings for the 30-minute. So this ideally should be 0 up here, the delay. You want to play around with it. See what works for you. But for me, I've seen on the 30-minute and above, this right here is ideally should be 0, and fast moving average right there. There you go. Because that's where you're getting some of these lower entries. But just see what works for you and play around with it. So 0 or 1 or source. Yeah, I'm still backtesting this so that I can give you guys the exact settings to use for whatever timeframes you use. But you can see just by playing with those two. And the other thing you also want to look at, I know I went over this with Audrey yesterday. While testing out, so keep in mind, right? While testing out, so you don't need for FX pairs, the breakout pips is either 30 or 40. For US 30, it's right here, you want to put 50. And for gold, you also want to put 50. The moving average, you want to put 9 or whatever moving average you want to use. So ideally, these two should be constant. The breakout pips and breakout EMA should be constant. The only things ideally you should start playing around with are these two, is the buy and sell delay and the source. So for example, how to know when to get a good signal or when to get the good settings for that, if you go on the hourly. So go on like a higher time frame first. So start on the higher time frame. So the thing with this indicator, of course, you want to buy low and sell high, right? So let's see what happens. Let me shift this just right here to the right. So we want to see sell signals showing up right here, like at the tops, and buy signals showing up at the bottom. So if I go here, move this to my right here, if I change this to 0, what happens? You can see, right? So if I change this to 0, and this is what I'm saying, on the hourly, ideally you want this to be 0. If I change this to 0, you can see the sales moved higher, and which is what you want to see, because if I push this back to 1, some of the cells disappear and some of the cells move lower. So you want to play around with 0 and 1 first of all and see that, okay, I want to be selling high and I want to be buying low. Perfect. Then you come back to source here. Try doing close and see how that affects, right? So that took off some of the cells and changed the areas where the sells and the buys are. So close with 1, that's what happened. Close with moving average, that's what happened. Change this back to 0. use close and see the changes. Use fast MA and see the changes. So yeah, just play around with that. So in any case, actually right now there is, because I normally use a buy, I normally use 0 and what was that? I normally use 0 and fast MA on the hourly. Yeah, but to me, this is not a valid buy. We just have one candle closing above, the next candle came back and closed below. So yeah, it's not I'll wait for another buy like on USD CAD. But that's just something to look out for. Yesterday also, when I was going through this, you can use this easily. So yesterday, for example, I don't know if Audrey is in here. We were back testing this breakout indicator. So yesterday we got a sell for odd USD, and actually that's why this chart is on odd USD. So we actually got the sell on odd USD here, right? So there was a breakout. I'll just take this away. So odd USD right here on the chart showed a breakout for a sell. Now, one thing I told Audrey is that if you get a breakout for, let me find something that's, let me go to the hourly. Okay, perfect. So I also went to the hourly yesterday and I'll do this. So if you're trading something and then you get a breakout and you can see this one, AUD USD automatically completed structure to the upside. So the sell made sense up here. But one thing you want to be cautious of with the breakout scanner, if, for example, price was here on a higher time frame on the 1 hour and you get the breakout scanner telling you breakout buy, which means our price is breaking out to the upside, you want to also look at where price is at, how long has price been trending in either direction, and how far is price from completing structure. So here I was telling Audrey, if, for example, we had gotten a breakout buy for odd USD, I would not have taken it because we just completed structure and price has been trending up. Not to say that, I mean, these breakouts are pretty on point, but the probability of AUD or AU continuing here yesterday, if we got a breakout buy, the probability was low, even though maybe it would have gone up for 10 or 20 pips and then fallen all the way back down. So sometimes if you get a breakout for any instrument, go on the higher time frame, see how far price has been trending on the hourly, see if there's any structure that still needs to be completed. If price has just completed structure and the signal is telling you to keep going in that direction, don't enter that. In any case, wait for the reversal and enter that. So this is what I saw, and I told Audrey, I'll tell you guys how to analyze that today. But yeah, so we got a breakout for a sell yesterday at about 2 p.m. for odd USD. And that was and since then AU has just been melting to the downside. See if we can get any other. Also, this the breakouts here are dependent upon the time frame you put this indicator on. So if you put it on the 5 minute, it's telling you that, for example, right now odd USD is breaking to the downside on the 5 minute. Now, if you want to swing trade, maybe use the 30-minute time frame to see if anything is breaking out from there. On the hourly time frame, you will not see things, or you'll not see breakouts every day because the hourly time frame is a high time frame. So maybe, for example, Euro CHF, we know on the 30-minute, it's saying that Euro CHF is going down. So if I go here, Euro CHF, that's on the 1 hour. So if I go on the 5 minute, let's see what's happening. Okay, on the 5 minutes. So this is just a reversal indicator. I'm not interested. I'm not using it right now. So on the 30 minutes, 30 minute, it's telling me that Euro CHF is selling. So let's see if there's any structure. Automatically, I can see structure right here that's being completed. We had this move to the downside. We had this move to complete structure right here, which price rejected from, came back up, but then went back down, went back to retest, and now it's going back. So if Euro CHF is to complete structure, I would be looking for Euro CHF to come down to about 0.9754. So that's how you can easily use this breakout indicators. So do we have any entry for Euro CHF? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I don't trade Euro CHF, so I'm not going to try and do anything with it. But yeah, that's how you can use that easy easy money. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah. Just a quick question.
Mhm.
You said on the US 30 trade that even on almost all the other pairs, like if the price came close to the weekly
Yes.
low, that is an area where you can look for a trade.
Yeah, you can look for a trade and even go. So this area you can go for like 1% or 2% risk, because weekly bullish and bearish zones, and also daily bullish. And you can see right now price is trapped between a daily bearish high and a daily bullish high. But weekly, especially weekly zones. So keep in mind, I start analyzing the every day from the monthly time frame down to the 15-minute time frame, and that's how I come up with all these markups. So weekly zones are rarely show up. So this is one of those trades you can risk even your max drawdown for the day. You could have entered this even with the 100K account. You go ahead and do 100 pips TP, 100 pips stop loss. But always look at what's around you, right? Always look at what's around price. Go for, what's that? Would have been 50 lots, easily made 5K. You'd have been up 5%. So yeah, these zones, I always wait for these zones. And today when I was doing the markups, and for you guys that already have access to my charts, I already sent you. So you have everything that I'm seeing on my screen right now, not just a screenshot. So yeah, for these zones, just whenever you see them, look at what's around here. So here, when I saw the weekly bullish low, I saw price was rejecting from, let me turn this off. Price was rejecting from a demand zone I had drawn up. So I immediately saw that, oh, wait. And also, if you remember, we also did get a buy signal for US 30 this morning. But then I saw, wait, there's also a golden cross forming. But before the golden cross was forming, price was around here. So I just waited for this candle to retest the weekly bullish low and close above. At that point, I just entered my buy for US 30 right here, and price shot all the way back up. But for this, you definitely got to trust in them. That's one thing. And in every trade, you have to, for you to make money or to be, so there's one way you can go about it. Either just do slow and steady. So I have a bunch of accounts that I'm just doing slow and steady. Even with my EA, I can easily make like a lot more than I made today, but I want to see slow and steady gains, because I know not every day will be a winning day. So to me, even for investors, the investor that holds for or has like a 20-year outlook will always have more money than the people who try to make $1 million a day or something like that. So that's why how people like Warren Buffett have made it in life, because he just looks for a strategy and sees, is this going to be profitable every day for the next 20 years? So yeah, so for this trade, like the one I just drew up, it takes a lot, right? Because for example, if you had a 50 lot here, and you're ideally risking your, if you go for 100 pips stop loss, you're ideally risking your max daily drawdown on a 100K account. This trade, yes, could have gone into profit just a little bit, giving you maybe like $100 or $200. And then it went into drawdown. What is this? 525. Went into drawdown about 30 pips. That is $1,500. So most people at this point, you could have had some people either just closing out, or, others would have said whatever happens, happens. But for the people who closed out, then price would have come back and they would have been like, oh, I could have easily made 5K. On the other hand, let's say even price did not hit or have any drawdown, and then price starts going up, right? Against psychology, you make 500, you make 1,000, you make 2,000. For most people, they close out after 500, after 1,000. But remember, right? I've backtested this on the live session with you guys. The win rate for these zones is so high. So as much as you might get faked out on one day, or maybe one trade comes back to break even, more times than not, if you just keep trading these zones, you end up winning or passing your challenge in like 3 or 4 trades. Even though one hits break even, even though another one hits stop loss. So for these particular trades, set your TP 100, depending. I don't, of course, I don't advocate for you to risk your whole daily drawdown. So maybe risk risk 2.5%, so that if this trade hits, you make 2.5% for the day. Remember, we're always going to have this like 6 of these zones during the month, either on gold, US 30 or EU. So, you know, make 2,500 for each one of these trades. If it hits stop loss, go ahead, leave that account until you get another entry like that. And yeah, it's just one of those trades. You just have to either let it hit TP and stop loss in order to pass your challenge with 4 of those trades. It definitely takes, even for me, it's still hard on me because sometimes I'm up maybe 3,000. You see, like this trade I took before, I closed right here. But it's also because I was up on the USD CAD trade. But it definitely tests your psychology. Personally, I'm not yet there as a trader to be holding trades for so long and seeing myself up 3K and going for 7K. Like I'm gonna, honestly with you guys, I'm gonna close at 1K, 2K. So it doesn't mean that it's something bad. It's just something, even for me, I'm working on as a trader. Yeah, does anybody else have any questions, any other questions? I really don't see any other trades, to be honest. And you can see the market is dead.
I think the Euro NZD trade maybe will come in. I just received an alert on 30
you
minutes.
did?
Yeah,
Okay.
so maybe like if it closed above above in the next 30 minutes, I think it's gonna be good entry.
Okay. What alert did you receive? Like a buy signal on the 30-minute, or was it just like closure
No, it
above?
was, yeah, close above the 9 EMA.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I'll be on the lookout for this one as well. Yeah, thanks. I think you'll be the one to be looking out for us on the entries for those. Yeah, but you can see, you know, on this we have so many ways to make money. So today we didn't take any trade as well, so I'll just put this as 0. Yesterday, technically the trade that I marked up should have been taken, but you know, I just don't want to seem like I'm making up trades. But so far for the month, we've only had 1 trade and it has been a win, up 0.5%. Last month about 4% return, this month about 3%. Yeah, so there's so many ways to make money. We have signals right here, but this one are now by subscription only. Again, I still haven't gotten another vendor to process payments. So the people who had subscribed initially got lucky, even after, because I was using Square. But to be honest with you, I've just been so busy because I'm right now my focus is on my EA being completed, and it's like 98% complete. I told you guys I have an account that's trading. So let me just show you guys this real quick. I'll just post this in the group. So it's just, you know, something that I'm testing with it. So I'll just but if anybody else has any questions, feel free to think about it and then you can unmute and ask. I'll just do a screen recording of this in the meantime. Okay.
So for the line that you are talking about, the weekly low and weekly high, is it the same for the monthly high and the monthly low?
Yeah, but the weekly high and weekly low. So for the weekly high, if you have access to my charts, ignore the weekly high and the weekly low that show up on Monday or Tuesday. So remember, I normally start, because if you start marking up the weekly high and low every day, price is going to move so fast. So you want to start marking up the weekly high and low on Wednesday, maybe, so that you give price room to breathe, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Also, ignore the previous daily highs and previous daily lows that show up on my charts, because keep in mind, I don't delete those markups. I just move them around every day. Ignore the previous daily highs and previous daily lows that show up on Monday and Tuesday. So I normally start marking previous daily highs and lows on Wednesday. So the reason for that is because on my charts, you'll always find Friday highs and Friday lows. So on Monday, I don't have a need to do a PD high and PD low because I already have a Friday high and Friday low. And also I always have a Monday high and Monday low. So on Tuesday, same thing. I don't have to do a previous daily high and previous daily low because I already have the Monday high and Monday low. Now on Wednesday, I'll still have Friday high and Friday low. On Wednesday, I'll still have Monday high and Monday low. But on Wednesday, for Tuesday, for the markups for Tuesday, I'll then do Tuesday's high and Tuesday's low, which is ideally, I'll just use previous daily high and previous daily low, if that makes, hopefully that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me just post this real quick. I think that's the one. So if I go in here and also I'll post this because this is the current drawdown for that account. So this is just where my focus has been on. So, I've told you guys, so that's probably another reason why I haven't followed on getting another vendor for subscriptions. The other streamers out there, they probably depend heavily on having subscribers so that they can make money that way. But for me, I told you guys, like, subscription money is not really, it's not my primary focus here. So this is why I've been focusing on the EA, on getting my EA developed. So this right here, if you guys can see my screen, so this is the money that the EA made today, right? And you can see what I'm trading. I'm trading all the heaviest pairs, and this is on a 100K account. I'm trading Bitcoin, I'm trading gold, I'm trading GU, AU, EU, and US 30 and NAS. And just for today, I'm up, what is that? That's $800 on a 100K account. So that's what is that? I know as much as I make money, so I'm terrible with math sometimes. That's almost 1% for the day, right? So that's 0.8%. The highest drawdown that I have for today, trading all of those instruments, this is the highest drawdown I have for that account as of now. So this is why my focus, I can easily, if I dedicate my time, easily get another vendor maybe in an hour or two. But when I tell you guys, like yesterday, other than today has been one of the better days that I've had time to myself. But I tell you guys, I normally start my day at like 4 a.m., go to the gym at 5. But even recently, I've just had to sacrifice the gym time. So I'm up at 5 a.m. working with my programmers. So I have like 6 programmers working on this, working with my programmers, getting feedback. And then I have to do the live session. I have to do the markups at 7 to 8. And that's also why I haven't been able to also do like all 3 markups in the last 2 days. 7 to 8 or 8:30, I've done my markups, send it to the people who've subscribed to that. And then I have the live session with you guys from 9:30 to 10 or to 11, right? So you can, my day, and then after the live session, guess what? I'm back to testing this EA and everything. So this is my focus right now. It's 98% complete. And I did say, after it's ready, what I'll do, I'll create either a demo account or get a demo account on Hugo's Way or a demo account on FTMO or whatnot. And then I create a MyFX book. So I have like 2 main strategies for it. So the first go at it, I'll give you guys access to that, to those accounts so that you can see how those accounts are performing. And then I did say that I am looking to get maxed out funding by all major prop firms. So I'm already maxed out on FTMO. I'm getting remaxed out because I lost one of my accounts. And then I'm working, I did show you guys a 250K account I have with E8. So, and let me do this. And this is ideally using my EA as well. So this is, let me take a screenshot of this as well. New here, and I've shown you this before. Do this, and I will do this. Wait, just give me 1 second. Yeah, so my goal after the year is complete, I get maxed funding with all major prop firms. And then after that, I will create those demo accounts. So as I'm getting max funding, I will create those demo accounts so that you guys should have access to them. And then for the people who are interested, so remember, I'm not giving this EA, or I'm not even selling it to people, to individuals, because the way the EA is built, if you have 2 people or more than 1 person trading US 30, say on the 5 minute, on the 1 minute, or on the 5 minute together, the EA will ideally take the same trades and you can ideally get denied payouts. And I don't want to risk that. I know it definitely has magic numbers and all of that, but the only way to avoid that is have 1 person doing US 30 on 5 minute, another on the 15 minute. But if I'm looking for this group to grow to a point where I'm shooting to have at least 1,000 members by this time next year, there's no way I can control who trades what on what time frame. So the only way I can do that for now is I will be offering account management or passing services to folks. So first of all, I'll ask you guys to create demos, and then you give me your demo credentials, and then I attach my EA to your demo accounts. And if you guys like what you see and you want to do a challenge with me, we'll just figure out a way to do it. I also want to create some legal documentation so that, both you and I are protected. But this right here is a 250K account challenge that I started with E8. You can see the profit target is 2%. Look at that growth curve. This is only my EA. So I haven't seen an EA that has such a growth curve. So I'm trading this 24/7. So 24/5, just Monday through Friday. And for this account, I'm actually only trading AU and EU only. So just in, when did I start it? Just in 9 days or 1 week, I'm up 2%. My max, so my highest drawdown is like right now, I'm currently in drawdown about 4 grand. Again, this is a 250K account. So the max daily loss is about 12,500 a day. So that's not a lot. Growth curve. So this is what you want to see. Growth curve. Same thing with other challenges I showed you guys that I'm recovering somebody's account with. Another challenge I'm taking just to test the EA. So all of those accounts have this growth curve. So eventually, I'll give you guys. So number one, definitely, I'll ask you guys to create demos and give me the credentials, and then I'll attach the EA to them. And then you can see how the EA performs in like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And then after that, if you're comfortable and if you want me to pass or to help pass any of your challenges or manage any funded accounts, we can then sign an agreement for me to start doing that. But that's my goal. So eventually, in the next 3 months, I'm looking to have hands-free hands-free trading. I don't want to be trading too much. I just want my EA to be doing the trading for me. I want to focus on helping people get funded. So that's my next goal. But does anybody else have any questions? So today, no trades. You can see US 30s, whether you took a buy or whether you took a sell, you'd have just been trapped by price right now. Same thing. And you can see what I talked about with gold. This candle can easily close to the downside, and then gold can move, can continue up. But this current hourly candle is what's going to tell you where gold is going to go. So remember, this is a static trend line. And what we know about static trend lines is that they almost always get retested or price rejects from them. So this previous candle broke below, but came back and closed above. For any buys, we want this current hourly candle to close above this trend line for a buy. Now, if this current hourly candle closes below this trend line, again, for a sell, we want to wait for the next hourly candle to retest the trend line and close below. And at that point, we can enter a sell for gold. So right now, gold is just a waiting game. And if a sell is to happen, one area you can target. So keep in mind, this is also a static trend line. So for profit target, right? What do we know about static trend lines? They almost always get retested. So you can take your TP around the 200 DMA if we get an entry for a sell around the 200 DMA or around a retest of this static trend line to the downside. But either way, these two trend lines will serve as major trend lines for gold, the same way we've had other trend lines on the hourly serving as major trend lines in future. So I think I got time for 5 more questions. I told you guys I hadn't had breakfast, so I'm starting to starve right here. So does anybody else have any questions? Feel free to go ahead and ask.
Yeah, so what's it called? Yeah, so when you said about the hourly, the hourly, on the hourly, when you go to let's just say you're in a demand on an hourly, then now you go to the 5 minute. When you're on the 5 minute, there's like supply zone to the top. So when you set your TP, let's say you're in the demand zone and you're in a buy, and you look at the hourly, and then your TP would set it like below the demand zone on the 5 minute.
Wait, you said I'm in a buy. Why are you saying my TP would be below the demand zone? Or do you mean
So
below the supply zone?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
basically, yeah. So on the, let's just say on the hourly, you're in a demand zone, you enter, and then on the 5 minute, you see supply zones, would you set your TP around or below it?
Uh,
Because that will most likely just like hold price up, isn't it?
yes, yeah, you're right. So if I'm trading, of course, right, I have my static TPs and stop loss. So another thing which is tied to what you're talking about, always look at the hourly where price is at relative, and that's why I always draw two trend lines on the 5 minute, two trend lines on the 1 hour, or the most recent trend lines, because I think there's, what was it, like a few days ago, maybe last week, where no, last week I was on vacation. Or whatever week, there was a day where we had whatever you're talking about. We entered a buy on gold because it was in a demand zone. However, on the hourly, there was a trend line to the upside. So what happened when price reached the trend line on the hourly, it actually retraced before hitting our take profit. So yeah, so when you're entering a trade on the 5 minute, also consider what's on the hourly. Where are your nearest trend lines? So that at that point, you can either lower your TP and stop loss and increase your risk. I'm sorry, maintain the same risk. So instead of risking 0.5% for a 50 pip TP, 50 pip stop loss, you can still risk a 0.5% with a 30 pip TP, 30 pip stop loss. The only thing is that you'll just increase your lot size, but just maintain the same risk. So yeah, you want to look out where is the nearest trend line on the hourly, or where's the nearest 9 EMA or 200 EMA while setting your TP and stop loss for the 5 minute. It's not something I do consciously, but it's just something that I noticed. It's good to also look out where that would fall on the hourly. But yeah, you're right. You also want to consider the hourly. Now, the other thing, as much, so same way, right? I have signals. I have what, four indicators that are available. Don't be too cautious. Like trading, one thing, I don't know if Steven is in here. Steven, if you've seen like Steven's charts compared to mine, Steven's charts are ideally naked, and he makes a good amount of money. I make a good amount of money as well, but my charts are a little bit more involved or have more markups. But one thing that Steven said is that don't make trading too complicated. So same thing with all this like the confluences that I have. Don't wait until everything lines up perfectly. Tell yourself, I need at least 3 confluences to align. Or let's say we have like 4 confluences or 3 confluences for a trade to hit. So you need 3 or 2 of them to align. That's it. So long as those 2 count, and so long as you're not FOMOing, enter your trade, hit if it hits TP, well and good. If it hits stop loss, so long as your trade has made sense. Yeah, but don't be, and I found myself doing that, which is why I'm actually slowing down on, because I have another idea for an indicator, which is what Levy had brought up the other day. I'm trying to, all these manual markups that I do, I'm trying to have them as an indicator so that you can put it on any chart and it's going to tell you where is the 15-minute bearish high, where's the 30-minute, where is this supply zone, where's this demand zone. Again, this is going to be hell of expensive to develop, but it's fine. But yeah, I've slowed down on creating new infrastructure because even for me, I've realized that sometimes I'm getting tied by, oh, let me look for a reversal. Oh, let me go to the breakout. And then I end up missing a simple trade. Yeah. So just have like, let's 2 confluences align. If those align, go ahead and take the trade. Don't be too cautious with the trade. Let's see. What sessions do you trade from? Joe asked that. So I only trade the New York session. In future, as the group grows, I definitely want to start trading London session, possibly even Asia session. Maybe not even me, maybe other admins in here. So there are other admins in here. So or even some of you guys, if and I did tell you down the road there'll be an opportunity to join the club as like part of our staff. So down the road, if anybody is good at trading London session, we can always organize that. But for now, only I do the live trading and I only trade the New York session. Let's see. The other question is.
So, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah. So on the for EU, for EU on the the hourly, there's a the demand zone at, let's see, around 109.40.
Okay, I'm not sure there's a okay. I'll just okay 10940. I'm not sure there's. I mean, I don't have any markups. Yeah, but
Yeah,
for you, you have a demand zone here.
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, from there, like you can see price went up. So when it went up, if you look at the 5 minute,
Mm-hmm.
there's a supply zone which is holding it up.
Okay.
So is that how you would um determine where you put your TP or?
So for this trade, if and I can see what you're talking about here. The only other thing I can look at, right? Look at this trend line static, and this is why I've drawn this markup. So I expect this trend line to be retested because it's a static trend line. But anyway, it doesn't have to be. But so if I was to trade EU, I would look for a high low to be created on the 5 minute. That's number one. So I'll draw my trend line, and you can see right here, price broke away from this trend line. Price is breaking away from this sell zone, and price is breaking into a buy zone. So what I would do here, and price has already also closed above the 9 EMA. So here, what I would do, I would wait for a high low to be created, and then once the high low is created, I would wait for the retest of this trend line. Whenever this trend line is going to be retested, and then just do my. So since this is not a reversal trade, it would be just a regular trade. I would just do my normal 200 pips stop loss, 200 pips TP. So right here, I wouldn't be looking at where price is. I'm sorry, any demand. I mean, right now for me, I don't have any markups for demand zones. But if you do, then you can adjust your stop loss accordingly. But for me, for this trade, I'll just wait for the retest of this trend line, enter that trade, 20 pip TP, 20 pip stop loss, and that's it. Because if a high low is created here on EU, what do you automatically see? If a high low is created, this means this trend line to the upside will be established as a static trend line. You already saw that EU broke away from this downtrend or these two trend lines that are drawn. It broke away. EU is breaking away from this supply channel or sell channel here into a buying channel. What do you also see? You also see a potential high low to be created. Another one, you see a potential golden cross on the 5 minute. So I would just enter this trade, do the 20 pips TP, 20 pips stop loss, and let whatever happens happen. So that's how I would go over that trade. Now, if I had demand zones in here, of course, I would want to see. I mean, right now I'm just speculating, so I don't know what demand zone is in here. I don't know what bearish markups or bullish markups are here. But if I had bullish markups here or a demand zone, and my stop loss will say here, I would try and adjust my stop loss to then be below such a demand zone or such a bullish markup, so that the demand zone and the bullish markup can act as a resistance, or hold my trade up if it comes up in drawdown.
All right, but the thing is, if on the 5 minute when so when you said the supply zone, on the 5 minute there's one. So there's one supply zone before, and then on the 15 minute there's another supply zone to the top. So if you go to the 15 minute, there's a supply zone or um to the top before. Like on the 5 minute there's one which shows like just where EU went up from is, I think, is like, how many pips is that?
But you see, the other question is, what is it? It's a supply zone on what? A supply zone on the 5 minute, a supply zone on the 4 hour. The reason I'm saying that is because same thing for US 30, right? The buy that I entered, I had a weekly bullish. This trade made sense to me. I had an established trend line. I had a weekly bullish low. I saw so same thing here I can see on EU. I see a golden cross forming. So I don't care. I didn't care about all these supply zones up here for US 30 because I knew weekly bullish low, that's one of the highest markups that I do. That overrides the hourly, overrides the 4 hour, overrides the 30, all this bearish, even the daily bearish zone. So to me, this right here, as much as it's by itself, it carries the most weight over all these supply zones. So that's why here for me, when I drew my TP for this trade, I knew the TP was going to be somewhere past these supply zones. I didn't care about that because, remember, I always tell you guys, does the trade make sense to you? If it makes sense to you, there's always going to be supply zones. There's always going to be demand zones. If it makes sense to you, let the trade run.
All right. So if it makes sense, would you not disregard it, but would you just?
Yeah, if it made sense, I would disregard. I wouldn't care about a demand zone. I wouldn't care about a supply zone, right? So long as I'm not forming in any trade, right? For me, I never care whether a trade hits stop loss or TP. For me, my confluences are, does the trade make sense to me? Because I'm identifying it. Okay, if I look here, this trade would make sense to me because price broke above established trend lines, static trend lines. Okay, price is in an uptrend. Price is breaking away from this sell zone right here. As much as I don't have any markup, for me, I also don't need markups to trade. But for me to take any buy here on EU, I need a high low to be established because this right here is a hanging trend line. And
So
I do not trade off of hanging trend. So I need a high low to be established before I even think about selling or buying EU.
So this on the 5 minute supply zone that's holding the price up right now. So right now it's is it consolidated or is it just what
I mean,
is it
there's
doing?
just death in the market. There's just no liquidity in the market. So yeah, some sort of
Yeah.
consolidation.
Yeah. Oh, if that supply zone is holding the price up, like a high low will basically break it, or will basically
No,
mean
it doesn't mean that. So remember, there's no guarantee in trading. It doesn't mean that a high low will break it. It just means when you have a high low, remember, trading is a game of probability. If you have a high low, the probability for price to keep going up now increases. But so long as you don't have that high, so not to say the high low can show up and then price to keep going down. Look at this markup I've done on the hourly. This trend line has not been tested. So a high low can still show up and then you enter into a buy, even though the buy is valid, and you get stopped out. So there's no guarantee. So the only thing is make sure if you're entering from a trend line, the trend line is a static trend line. That's it. So all these supply and demand zones, all this supply and demand, like for me, even for US 30, right? I could have easily entered a trade from the demand zone. So I've said this before. For me, supply and demand zones are just to show me where price is likely to go. I don't use them to enter any trade. My entry, so remember, I always have 3 confluences for entering a trade: retest of trend line, retest of point of interest or high low period, or retest off of 9 EMA, right? So for these demand zones, I just use, it's like a feeler trade for me. It's just like a signal. Here I'm seeing price is rejecting. So price rejected from this demand zone I had. I could have easily bought down here, like on the closure above the 9 EMA. But I don't like, and I've said this before, I don't like trading if I don't have any markups around me. What markups do I talk about? The bullish zones, the daily zones. I don't like trading if I don't have those markups around me. So what I did here, I saw, wait, price has is around a weekly bullish low. So let me just wait for the retest of the weekly bullish low and closure above, and then that's where I entered. So yes, I could have easily entered off of this demand zone, but I do not trade supply and demand zones by themselves. I just use them to help me see where price is likely to head. Now, if we had a bunch of demand zones here in the weekly bullish low, right, even better. The more the confluences, the better. But for me, the red and the green, it just tells me right now price is in a sell area. That's it. It doesn't mean that I'm going to sell, right? It just tells me where is price at and what is price likely to do around that area. So that's how I use a supply and demand zones. They do not affect where I put my TP. They do not affect anything. In any case, the only thing that affects where I put my TP is if I look on the hourly time frame and then I see there's a static trend line on the hourly time frame, or there's the 200 EMA or 9 EMA. But that's the only way. Other than that, price is always going to break past demand zones and supply zones. So if you're too concerned about them, sometimes you might just either get faked out or miss a trade. So yeah, I don't care about, I just use them to tell me what price is likely to do around there. Yeah, if you think about it this way, when you see a demand zone, let that tell you there's buyers there. That's it. So if you know there's buyers there, then ask yourself, what areas around this area or what markups around this area can I use to buy? So this is what the same thing I said with EU. If you know there's a demand zone here, that should just tell you there are buyers there. Okay, it doesn't tell you hop into a buy. Then you ask yourself, what confluence can I use to buy EU from this area where there are buyers? What are our 3 confluences? Trend line, 9 EMA, high low period. That's it. Draw them. wait for your entry, and then you enter. Clean trade. You don't even have any signals or anything. You're just using our strategy for entering trades.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And the other thing is, what is it called? The DXY, is it?
Yeah, the DXY.
Yeah.
I'm not, so I don't trade. I've never traded or marked up the DXY. I know Steven is the one who does it. I'm not sure I'll be the best to answer that question. I just know the DXY. What the DXY is, what the US dollar, and it moves up. If the DXY moves up, euro moves down. But to be honest, I would just be guessing or something. But I just know its correlation to instruments. That's it. I don't really know about how it moves.
DXY usually affects Euro USD more than anything, unless it's really, really trending.
Yeah. All right. One last thing. Yeah. So when you said when you enter when you start trading or when you start when you enter a trading session within the first do you start looking for trades in the first like 10 minutes or 15 minutes?
So if I'm trading like the New York session, right, I'm not interested in entering any trades the first 10 minutes because that's when you have a bunch of fake outs. So I wait. Now, I wait until 10 minutes after New York open. But for this trade, this was too good of a trade to miss because I already knew there was a weekly bullish low. So normally I don't enter trades before market open. So anytime an hour and a half before market open. But if this is one of those instances where I have this trade right here, I will enter it. But yeah, normally I start looking because I'm doing the markups for you guys between 7 and 8:30. And at that point, I'm even tired and I just go and rest a little bit, wait for the live session. Yeah, but if you're counting from the beginning of New York Open, I wait for 10 minutes to give the market time to settle down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
right. The other question from Johanna, hopefully I pronounce it well. Do you have your signals set up to be taking automatically through Pine Connector, or do you take them manually? So for my signals, since I stopped even focusing on signals for now, but what I used to do or what I had, so I do have also the Telegram. I do have a Telegram group where all these signals also go. So I don't know if you're here still. Oh yeah, I can see you're here. So what I do, I have this software. Well, it's not mine, but it's called Telegram. But I know what you're talking about. There's definitely a way you can use that, but the one that I have is called Telegram Copier. There's two of them. There's Telegram FX Copier, then there's Telegram Copier. So I have the Telegram Copier, and then I have what? I have which one? I have the one that allows you to have like 2 accounts. So it's just lifetime, right? So you can have one account. You can pay per month, but why pay per month? Then you can have lifetime for ideally 2 months renting or whatnot. So I have this one, lifetime 2 MetaTrader accounts. So in there, you just connect the Telegram group that you have and then configure it in there to take the trades. So the way that I was taking it, I was actually taking it. Did I close out that page? Yeah, but I used to use this one to copy from Telegram to directly to my MT4. I don't know if I have it. My FX book. Yeah, so I had an account that was taking those trades, but I switched all my accounts to be traded by my EA. So that's why I stopped taking this. But so for this account, it was taking gold, and it was just a demo account to show you guys. So I was just taking gold, US 30 and NAS, and you can see the first 7 or so days I was up 9%, and then I had a profit target. So I had a profit target of about 1,500 a day, so that's like 1.5 a day. So and each trade I was risking like $500 for each trade. So that's how I got this. And then like 2 days beginning, 2 days at the end, I forget when this was, April 20th and 21st, the market was just ranging. Now, the only thing you want to be careful about the signals is avoid a ranging market, because what was happening this day that I lost this, and funny enough, is the day that I started the challenge for my friend, but that's now recovering using my EA. What happens with signals, let me see if I can find an example. Okay, what was that chart that was consolidating a lot? Euro NZD on the 5-minute. Okay, so if you have signals, so what was happening? You had a ranging market. I think it was before before FOMC. That's why the market was consolidating. So right here, I can automatically see resistance and support here. So those 2 days, like for example, gold, you'd get a buy signal here on gold, and gold would retrace here, come back down, do buy signal on gold. Gold would then reverse, come back down to support, and then it would get a sell signal on maybe a higher time frame, and guess what, gold will go back up. So all those trades kept getting stopped out for no particular reason. Now for me, I was running the signals before Asia. When was I running them? Mid Asia session to pre New York Open. Now you can see for the first 7 or so days they were perfect, but this time right here, when you had this decline in the growth curve, this was due to consolidation in the market before FOMC. So if you ever subscribe to the signals, avoid consolidating markets. You want to trade them hopefully after heavy news, and then just trade them for like 1 or 2 weeks, and then definitely give yourself a target for that. But I'll go back to them, to configuring them on some of my accounts once I'm done testing the EA. But right now my focus is on the EA, because even the EA itself, so I told you guys, my EA is configured to trade every single strategy I have. It's configured to trade partly based on the signals, partly based on all the confluences I have, 9 EMA, trend line, high-low period, also what is that, reversal. So my EA is configured to trade. If I was an AI and I could trade 24 hours 5 days a week, that's how my EA is configured. And you guys remember when I told you guys for these signals as well, and this, and also for the person who asked, these signals were being taken on impulse. So how you have this Telegram copier, it takes the signal on impulse. But remember, for our strategies, or for the signal strategies, I know we haven't talked about signals in a while. For the signal strategy, if you get a signal, so for example, here you have a buy gold sell on the 5-minute. You go on the 5-minute chart, you wait for the retest of the 9 EMA before you enter, if you're to trade that signal manually, instead of entering in on impulse. Now with this copier, these signals were being entered on impulse. They weren't waiting for the retest. Now my EA does the opposite. My EA makes sure all the confluences align, and that's how you guys saw that I have such a continuous and consistent growth equity curve, because my EA waits for all confluences before entering any trades. And that's why right now I'm focusing more on it, because it's going to be, it's ideally going to be like a twin, or if I could clone myself, it's ideally going to be like my clone. So that's why my focus right now is on the EA. But once that's done, I'll come back to these signals. I'll find, the signals are, I haven't tested. You can see the last time this account took the signals was April 26th, because I turned that off. But I don't know how signals have been doing lately. I know only a couple of people have subscribed to them, so I can't tell you. But we can backtest, but that would take a while. Yeah, but that's how I do it. Just get the Telegram copy, and then if you don't know, if you're interested in signals, let me know, and I can. But I would say just wait till I get the subscription links back up. I need to find another vendor. Once I do that, hopefully by the end of the week, and if you're interested in signals, I can help you set up the Telegram copy, and I can show you how to set up all those settings. So, no need to pay me to help you, even even to other people. If you ever need like a one-on-one consultation with me, there are people who charge for that. I don't. I just believe in helping people. For now, since our group is small enough, I just do it for free. So, or you can ask me questions on the live session if you want to wait till then. But yeah, hopefully I answered your question regarding the signals. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, bro. So one last thing. If
Mhm.
the reversal pattern, if you were to do it like manually with no indicator,
Mhm.
how would you do it? How would you do it with no indicator?
Trading what? Trading anything?
Yeah, that's reversal. So if you're trading forex, just EU whatever, just with
Mm.
just manually without indicator.
So of course you want to see this, right? So if you want to do it manually, identify a point of interest, right? When was price last above whatever EMA you're using? So for me, since I'm trading on the short term, I'm using the 9 EMA. So look for when was price, I know that last markup was on the 1 hour. Look for when price was last above or below the 9 EMA consistently, right? And normally for the trend, honestly, unless, okay, so let me start from the top. For me, I'm only able to see the trend on US 30, gold, and EU because I trade these assets daily. Now we have what 50 or so instruments out there, which is the reason why I also developed this breakout scanner, because it can tell me when a trend has started. But so the first identifier of a trend, find an instrument, more than likely it's going to be the one you're used to trading daily, and then you'll see a trend. So you cannot tell a trend is about to come unless, so for example, unless you have like such an indicator that tells you a trend or a breakout is about to happen. But more times than not, if you're just manually doing it without any indicator, you'll notice a trend after it has started happening, right? So for example, if I go here on EU, I can see a possible trend right here. So I could have seen this as a trend. So this is the last time price was consistently above the 9 EMA right here. So to me, this would be my point of interest, right? Around that point. And then I would have identified a trend possibly here because price has just stayed below the 9 EMA consistently. For this is what, 826. So this is about 20 pips. And then you come in here, you draw your arrow, and then you say, it depends also what is a trend to you. So for me on FX pairs, a trend is 50 pips on the 5-minute. So if to you it's 30, 20 or whatnot, so you come in here, draw your arrow, put whatever value that there is. So for you, you're only interested in any reversal or in any buy if price comes past this zone. So if price goes above, so in this case, you also want to see price staying above your referenced EMA. So right here, you had price break above. So this is right. This is tricky, right? Do you consider this a break above to yourself? To me, I consider this a fake out. So to me, my point of interest still holds because this closed above. The next one went all the way back down and also created a high low. So if it keeps, I don't know what 50 pips is here. So 50 pips would be 825 minus 5 is 325. So all the way down here. So around 325.
So this strategy, would it work on like any pair?
Yeah,
It can work on any pair.
it works on anything. You just have, so keep in mind all these values I'm giving you guys, they're not static. That is what works for me. You know, I don't win 100% of the time. So to you, a trend can be 80 pips. So remember, the higher the trend, the higher. So here, this trend for me would have been invalidated because this price went back above. So if I'm doing this 50 pips here, I want to see price consistently being held down by an EMA. I don't want to see this break. So to me, this is why for me, this trend would have been invalidated and I would have just gone ahead and deleted that. Now, that is the limitation of just having one instrument. But since I have all this, and that's why you see like Desire calling all of this. So on here, I can go on any of these instruments and find a trade if I don't get anything on EU. Yeah, but that's how you do it. If you want to do it manually, that's how you do it. Because initially we started doing it manually even before I developed the indicator for it. So yeah. All right. Any other person with any other questions? All right, perfect. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow. It's definitely been a slow week. I told you guys I'm also focusing on getting that EA done. But currently I'm up for the day about, what was that? I made 2% on the USD CAD and I just made another 1% on that US 30 trade. So I'm up about 3% for the day. Again, there were no trades taken on the live session. This is the trade I took before the live session, so that doesn't count. So for the day today for everybody or just for the live session, the return is 0. But for me, I'm up 3% for the day. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. looking forward the next few weeks, you know, they're just exciting things coming down. But other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. If you want to keep trading, just be careful. You can see price is now descending on US 30. We are coming off of all these supply zones, but be careful. Tomorrow we do have CPI news, so that's why the markets are sort of dead today. And also tomorrow for CPI, remember what I told you guys. Oh, and I know maybe most of you don't have access to the signals. So for those of you who have access to the signals, I told you be mindful of the signal that comes up 15 minutes before the news happens. So 1 hour, between 15 minutes and 1 hour. So if you get like a sell on US 30 on the, especially the 15-minute signals, if you get like a sell before CPI, like 15 minutes or 30 minutes before CPI, more than likely CPI would be, you know, leading to a sell on whatever instrument. So just we'll go over those tomorrow. We'll see what signals came up for. I'm sorry, for whatever instruments, and then we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.